Warning, the content on this podcast is both highly adult and potentially enlightening. Please do not listen if you're not, emotionally 25, physically 18. Thank you. Welcome back to Orgy Story, Episode 3. Time flies. I'm Kevin. You're listening to a narrative-based podcast about hosting, attending, and destigmatizing orgies. We have been overwhelmed by the feedback. We have been engaged by your questions and absolutely titillated by some of the details about the other stuff. We were not joking when we said we were going to host an orgy. On tonight's episode, this morning's, whenever you're listening, we have a reading of the invitation we sent to the crew attending or maybe attending the orgy, as well as a very special pre-orgy conversation that took place right before guests arrived. You're going to get to hear it and a little bit more of a preface. First up, the invite. Let us know what you think. orgystorycast@gmail.com, Instagram @orgystory, or call us 720-432-0557. Enjoy.
I'm going to slurp it loudly. Please don't.
And now I'm going to use that quotation later out of context. I'm going to cut it and put it in different things. Welcome to a reading of the invitation. We're going to do this as a group. I'm going to read it. You two chime in as you feel like you would like to mock me or edit or emphasize. May Orgy time. That's the subject. You can hear the subject boldness in my voice. You're also going to hear bold categories throughout. You'll hear me saying it. What? Victoria and Hannah want to have an orgy. The theory is warm weather is coming to Denver, and thus it is orgy season. Yes, we do know it's always orgy season. Technically, we're still working on that with the international governing body. It was also unseasonably cold. That explains that very funny weather joke in the beginning. Why? Hard to answer. The motivation varies. Perhaps we're still celebrating our Dionysian impulses and diverting them through ritual. Whatever your motivation, so excited to talk to you all about it. When? May 4th, 2019, 8 p.m. Where? Not. Like I'm going to tell you,
like,
thirsty
disclose.
mother. I do give some specifics because finding your weird city apartments can be super difficult. Bonus thing. We realize it's May 4th and some people love Star Wars. Sexy Star Wars costumes encouraged, but not required. For those brave enough, perhaps we'll have a special reward. May the 4G be with you. Party supplies. We'll have bourbon, vodka, tequila, red boxed wine, and beer. You can bring specific drinks or mixers. If you want more than the basics or just $20 to contribute above, please bring some condoms and no pressure, but a category I'll call mild chemical party extras are welcome.
Colorado.
How? These rules were somewhat plagiarized. It helps when you're writing your own email if you've already been to a party where they've written their own email, because then you can just take the part you like. I'm going to do some summary because it's going to be a bit of a read. No photography at all. Ish. We did designate the upstairs loft area. Could be like a selfie party thing, because I've seen some other orgy communities spice it up, like Wonderland in New York, with a photo booth thing.
I think that's a really good idea, and it can be an option, but we have also been to parties where they said absolutely no phones or video or photography equipment around anywhere, and I think that's totally valid too.
Fine. But we did want people to have a memento. Like,
And it was a small enough thing where
party
we all...
favors.
Yeah, and wow, now that you say that, I'm really kind of upset that we didn't do
I
that.
know. Next time, we'll have little party gift bags.
Although that night we did notice the mirror that you have in your rafters that you can look at yourself on the bed.
Perfect for a selfie.
And we're going to need to incorporate that into our next orgy.
Rule 2. play area, play meaning exactly what you think it does, will be the living room and upstairs loft.
Backgammon?
Couches. I don't know how to play backgammon. Couches, mattresses, a queen-size bed. Kitchen will be our breather area. It is a loft, so it's not the largest space, but we are asking no play in the kitchen, so if people need a break, they go to the kitchen and have, what is it? A breather. Yeah, it's aptly named. Number 3, smoking area out back. Colorado smoking area up top. 4, toys, bring them. We'll have towels, blankets, and plugs. The wall kind, though. 3, we have 2 bathrooms open for the night. Upstairs has a shower as needed. 4, since it's a small party, we just designated the hosts as lifeguards-ish, but no one was staying sober, so we didn't have anyone designated just for safety like some of the more advanced orgy platforms. Well, we wanted to call that out. Number 5, the most important one, it's the longest. We even highlighted it, consent. Consent to talk, consent to touch, consent to really flirt too aggressively, consent anytime there's nudity, consent to get inside someone, standard. Consent to kiss, all that couldn't be more emphasized, and you will be promptly kicked out if you even skirt the line of discomfort. Number 6, not requiring condoms, though everyone has stated they've been tested recently and are coming with a bill of health. Most of us use condoms. Some of us don't. All your call. Know who you're playing with. Number 7, use the trash cans. The throes of passion can get those condoms tossed anywhere. You never know.
And, at some point, we did board our dogs, but,
We can only take care of so many before they become a chew toy that we find the next day. Look, I get it. The
Gross.
throes of passion get us all. Just we strategically put trash cans everywhere. Finally, we encourage a safe word between if you're there with someone, great. If you have a friend off-site that you can be like, Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. It doesn't have to be Top Gun. That just came out, so I'm stuck on it. It could be a bachelor. It's like, I do not want to give them a rose. You find your safe word with your friend so you can be like, I'm out of here. I'm getting out of this business. It's always good to have an exit strategy. Sincerely, me, and I admit some plagiarism from some friends is the last tagline. Is that an orgy that you would go to?
Well, I did go to it.
Oh,
I helped
thank God.
organize it, in fact.
No,
Yes, I love our email.
I do too. I'm very happy with it. I think it's kind of funny that you listed all the alcohol, including the red boxed wine that was like emphasized in the email.
Can't take the Kansas out of the guy.
We wanted to make aware that there was going to be drinking at this party and that you should plan accordingly if that's not your jam.
It's another Orgy Story commercial. 5 stars on iTunes. You know the drill here. You need to tell a friend. If you're listening on Stitcher, excellent. Just rate it however is possible on Stitcher or follow on Spotify. Look, you get it. Orgy Story. Engage us on the social medias. See you on Instagram. You are about to listen to the first thing we ever recorded. We have tried to do audio documentary clips for this podcast, and this is one of them. It's a very nervous conversation had between the Orgy Story cast within minutes of people arriving. The audio's, we did our best. It was just sort of, hey, we should record this if we, in the future, ever want to do something highly exposed. For your listening pleasure, a pre-orgy conversation.
How do we start an orgy?
Well, first we podcast about it.
That's not the first thing we did. You two, weeks ago, asked to have an orgy when we were moving a week after we were moving.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it's Hannah's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I kind of forgot about that since my birthday is on Boring Monday, but fuck yeah, it's my birthday.
Had no clue. So we've really done our research here.
I knew it was her birthday in the general vicinity of this time,
Yep.
but what better housewarming party than
Right.
an orgy too?
Exactly. Housewarming, birthday. Also, Vicky and I have been talking a lot lately about how Ugh, Vicky, this is so cliche about how orgy season is actually a thing. Like, you want to get naked when it gets warm out.
You do, and
Orgy season.
it's orgy season. It's worth kicking it off.
What do we say? May to October?
May to October is really safe. I think.
December sucks.
And I think we had. When's your birthday, Vicky? Because late November we had one.
Mid-November.
Mid-November. That was really fun.
A small G.
It was a
smaller.
It was a small G, but it was. What's our official definition? More than 6?
That's a good. Let's start there.
All right.
What's an orgy? It's more than 5 people. That's my hardline principle.
More than 5. I mean, you could probably say something. Well, 6 starts with sex, tuple.
Oh, I like that. So you're saying there's a language portion. Yeah, 6 or more.
Right, 6 or more.
We're going to have around 15 or 16 people here tonight, which means we've done the prep. So we're hoping to answer a lot of the questions our friends are asking us in private, in public.
Nice.
What is the first one? How do you not break up with your significant other? What's the first question people ask?
Oh, we need to start way broader than that, Kev, my dear friend. Because we also can't start with a negative question. We can't start with how do you break up or whatever. We have to start with like,
why is it so fun?
Why is it
so fun? We have to talk about what we're all excited for tonight and why we do this in general. Because I've been thinking a lot about this actually.
There's 58 answers. We're going to truncate this. And if you can hear the joy, you can drop the jealousy and join your local orgy community. This Sunday, this is not a podcast where we're like, we're not passing judgment. We are passing judgment. If you're not doing this, we might be judging you a little bit.
Yeah.
Why is it so fun?
Why wouldn't you be? So I think the first thing is that I've always loved deviance. Just breaking a rule turns me on. Now, on the car ride over here, I was thinking I need to specify a little bit because I am not going to go fucking rob a grocery store because it turns me on. Or
we'll see.
A little bit about Hannah on what gets her going.
Yeah, or fucking a grocery store.
No, I wouldn't do that.
We're saying this is a place where we can channel some of that deviance.
Yes, we can. And and on a really basic raw level, it's really cool to have a lot of cool shit happening to a lot of different parts of your body.
Yeah. Sex with as many people as
favorite.
possible is just kind of fun.
Vicky, why is it fun?
It's great. Well, first of all, sex is great. So if you can add, the more the merrier.
There you go.
There you go, Kevin. Why is this fun?
I like watching. I like partaking. I like the randomness. You just said a lot of people doing something that's really good. This is a good point to be like, I'm bi.
Yep.
A few of you might be bi.
A few of
A
us.
few
on
of
the
us.
podcast and listening to the podcast. A few of you
Yes.
might enjoy all the sexes. And again, if you're not, just give it a try. How do you know?
Right.
That is a good point. How do you know?
How do you know? But also, if you do know, that's okay. It would just be also cool if you weren't bi to be like cool with the same genitalia in the same room as you.
That's right. You don't have to. No one's forcing you to have
clarifier.
sex with
Yes, because y'all would not be. Wait, I missed that.
Consent is a part of this. I think the pressure, one of the things scares people about orgies.
Yeah.
It's like, what if I don't perform? It's like, you're missing what's fun about this. It's like, what if I don't win cornhole at a backyard barbecue? No one cares. There's a whole party of people having sex. It's about the atmosphere and at least.
Right, and you can do whatever you goddamn want,
And
and
if
nobody
you want
gives
to
a
play
shit.
cornhole in our kitchen, well,
I could set that up.
We're going to skate right past some things. There's a level of maturity that's difficult when the title of the podcast is Orgy Story, and we will not be maintaining it at any point.
Nor does any audience member, I hope, wish that we do.
So it's a lot of fun.
yeah. I think it's also important to be lighthearted about it. Don't take it too seriously.
Yep.
That's true. Someone's going to get naked first. This is where I just implore the audience to watch a good old-fashioned orgy. There's some wisdom that comes in that movie.
He is talking about the film with Jason Segel.
No.
Sudeikis. Jason Segel. Hold
How
on.
dare you.
Not a bad change
How
to that movie.
dare you.
Not a bad change. Add a little Jason Segel to that as his number 2, but I love his second best friend.
Yeah.
Not what this podcast is about. Watch it. It'll help you get some ideas.
Kevin's talking about the film, not the Pornhub
But there's
first thing you Google to watch porn.
Correct.
Yep.
This started a few weeks ago we're executing and planning. Do we want to talk a little bit about how we got things ready tonight? Guest list wise, location, rules.
Yeah. Well, it all starts with someone wanting to have an orgy.
Amen.
It's
Well said.
How do you know?
It all started with me waking up in the morning, looking over at Kevin and saying, you know what, I know we're moving and we'll only be a week into the move, but Hannah and I want to have an orgy to celebrate.
Wow, I was unaware of this exchange, and that's magical. Also, to go even farther back, it starts with having, it starts with having gone to your first one and really liking it and wanting to replicate it.
Good
and
segue into the guest list. But
yes,
we all went to one, so we were play partners prior. We decided to up into the big leagues. Some friends of ours who organized half of the guest list tonight, we'll be talking to them later, but the Godfathers, like if we're just going to give them like old school
mentors.
Godmother, mostly.
Goddesses, both of them.
Both of them,
they
goddesses.
helped set up something, and we were like, oh, the art of the possible, and now here we are.
And let's see, that was last August.
And we have over 10 combined orgies amongst the crew of us, some more successful than others.
We counted last night, and we hope to be able to share all of those stories here. Some
the
better,
good, the bad, the ugly.
What makes us say some better than others?
We walked out of an orgy, not playing at one once upon a time, and that's a story that we will get to in terms of what you need to weather out, because not all orgies, no two orgies the same, and getting a lot of people together is difficult sexually.
Sure is.
There's
a level of confidence and comfort that is required.
Openness.
Yeah.
Having an open mind. Not everybody is.
Scary. So this is where we get into the rules, because that's why we have the rules. People think it's scary. We're living in a heightened sexual awareness environment, both good and bad, I think, in terms of like people are exploring more things, and we're ripping the lid off about 150 years worth of garbage. Consent is on the list. That's a big one. Having some comfort that you have a parachute of like, I can just get out of here at any point. And it's like, yeah, you absolutely can. It's not Guantanamo Bay. Like that. That's not fun. Unless I'm not going to get judgy. I'm not going to get judgy if that's your thing.
If that's your thing.
Consent.
Right.
People can consent to, 6 to 7 days of marine-like torture, and that's fun for them. And that's okay. That's not what we're doing tonight.
Those people will not be at this orgy tonight.
That we know of.
Side note, you could sign me up for maybe 2 days in Guantanamo Bay on guard duty. I'm going to do guard duty. I'm not moving to drinks, party favors, setting up this place. So that is a major pain in the ass. It's a lot of laundry.
Yep.
I want to give people a little bit of cleanup. Has a lot of like what's on the walls.
I was also going to say, to be less subtle, cum blankets.
Well, I didn't think
shit got crusty.
You were not going to be the one I was going to say was going to go not subtle, but that is what we are somewhat referencing. Hey, look, this is adult stuff. This is a real thing. And I will say, cleanup wise, I think our mentors do a little bit more thorough job, because it's like, I can't drink that much. I got to slow down. And mostly it's just about re-washing every single blanket and towel you've been washing for the last 2 days. We changed things up a little bit. We asked for a voluntary donation if people were comfortable with the alcohol I provided. So one thing we try to do, and this is just us as party hosts, so if you become friendly enough with us and join us in our
Kevin, slow down. We're going to become famous.
Thank you. I do need to raise my bar. If that's the case, I need to get way more picky.
Yes, you do.
There's drinks. There will be some extra party favors. This is Colorado. We'll be smoking some weed up here in the balcony. And this is where I want to talk about the setting. Partially why we decided to do this is because we previously had been in a house that was fine, and it was kind of in the suburbs, and it was like us hosting this sexy event with people like with their kids on the trampoline next door. That is no longer the case. We are now in a loft downtown.
They were great kids.
They were fine. And everybody went to bed before anything started. I'm just saying
they were fine.
It's helpful if people aren't like walking out front and you're like, oh, it's a family of 5 while someone's inside me and I'm
inside someone else.
Yes, sure. That's
hopefully.
I'm just trying to concentrate. None of that's going to be the case here. So our friends have a huge basement that's great because it just looks like kinky people are pouring in, and then who knows where they go. Here we have just massive windows, a lot of lighting, some floating art, and we've set it up to have 2 play spaces. Play spaces? I almost said play stasis. That's not a word.
No.
Downstairs,
PlayStations.
upstairs. There's 7 PlayStations. It's going to get virtual.
Only one we.
And you have to find the cable. Cue, it's hidden somewhere on a guest.
Prizes.
There were a lot of things we talked about. It's May 4th. None of us like Star Wars. So we were like, should we have a theme? We didn't. Do you want to tell the people how we skirted around this? Because it's genius.
It's optional. Theme optional. May
Kevin
the
just-
4G be with you.
Kevin
Yes.
just called
If-
himself a genius. Yes, we ended up going with May the 4G be with you, the May 4G, Star Wars.
And if you fucking love Star Wars and want to dress up like a Star Wars character, please, by all means. If we'll all vote on who's the best dressed Star Wars wise.
And
Winner.
This loves the negotiation because I originally was like, winner gets Victoria for 5 minutes upstairs. Vicky, you all nixed
was like,
that.
let's
Everybody's
slow
like,
down.
No, that's not. I was like, all right, well, I mean, there's no bad ideas in brainstorming.
Exactly.
Because that comes back to guest list. So we have our regular people that we sleep with.
Yep.
They're all coming. But some people are bringing extras. So we extended a +1 or +5 or plus whoever, so we don't know everybody that will be there.
Right.
Hannah's bringing some people that Kevin and I have never met.
Yep.
So that
A
brings
giant with a huge penis. is
So the
like her
guest
number
list-
one. She's bringing some
Yeah.
who's-
or Kevin's. Is it bigger than mine?
That is not.
Well, so here's what happened.
Because I was like, how big is big? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay,
Well-
plus or minus me. And it wasn't like I
Okay.
need to have the biggest dick in this orgy because I won't.
This
I
is
can
a
assure
trick.
you that already.
This is a
No,
trick
it's just
question.
amusing.
I'm glad that you're very comfortable with your penis, Kevin, and you have a great penis. But I this is a trick question. I mean, ladies, can please tell me if any of you have straight up taken a ruler to your man's dick. Like none of us have. So
Ladies, gentlemen.
I don't really
all of
know.
us.
No, I know gentlemen. That's why I didn't
No,
include
I'm saying
them.
we all do. I guess.
Oh, exactly. But
Yeah.
ladies never actually measure, and so I don't have a reference. Like, if you tell me your dick is 7 inches, I'm probably gonna think it's 6.
People everywhere. There's a lot of guys that were like, yes.
No, I think we just take your word for it.
Right. So here's the reason why Kevin brought up my if his dick about the relationship between the length of his dick and the length of my tall friend with a large dick
It's a landmark.
is because because Kevin, what I was asking Kevin, please to be the person. We're getting into intimate details on the show, right?
Yeah.
I really
you already
really
complimented my penis. How much more intimate do you want to
I really want to have both my asshole and my pussy filled up at the same time. And I really want our tall friend coming, or my tall friend coming, and Kevin to be the ones to fulfill that dream for me. I have a very specific memory last orgy of saying, this is the night that this is going to happen. And then it just doesn't because you get so swept up in the moment. So I'm going to hold you accountable, Kevin.
Goals. Sometimes having
responsibility.
goals for an orgy is great.
Goals for anything.
Goals.
It's goal-making season.
Smart
Here
goals.
at Corporate Orgy Story, we do have goals. That
We are
abide
not
by.
a corporation.
And we will let you know shortly if Hannah's goal was fulfilled.
What are some things you advise about going into it? Because, so our first orgy, it was a lot of communication. Now, fortunately, we were much more versed in threesomes, foursomes. I'm bragging again. But in this,
please brag.
you got to get
Well,
jealousy's
you got to
gotta
mention your dick size while
One-
you brag.
6 to 7
so.
more times? How about 7 to 8 more times?
Fuck it, 8 to 9.
8 to 9. 8 plus?
Who knows? I didn't tape measure it.
No.
I know. I
and
need to start doing that
you
when
did.
he's asleep.
To your defense, I was like, how big is it? And he was like, I don't have any idea.
Yeah.
Just the math was what you were offended by. It was 17 millimeters. I honestly
Yeah.
could say
She's
anything.
converting to metric system.
Also, it's yeah. I really couldn't tell you exact inches, and I was like, I think offended might be too strong to say how I reacted to you, but I was like, how dare you assume I would know that?
Using proportions.
I believe-
X is to.
He's
Oh.
2 fifths of Shaq's shoe size? Is that an appropriate way to measure it?
I don't know. He's just big, and it hurts my ass. Okay, that's what I know.
This is such a good are we getting into details? It's my favorite. There are people coming over in now 39 minutes.
39 minutes.
Leave the jealousy behind. That's my
39
advice. My second one is
minutes.
sort of come in. One thing I think people also start to do is, look, basketball would suck if it was always one-on-one. That's a playoffs reference. Help me out here.
Ouch.
One of the things I enjoy when I
Kevin
go
sports.
with
Yay,
my significant
Kevin
other
sports.
to a thing like this is the way other people react to her. It's like, oh, look at others.
And you know what's interesting?
Being turned on by her. There's a competitiveness to it later
Right.
that's like, excellent. That was fun to watch. It's good to see what they're capable of.
That's a great perspective, because an interesting thing is I have never, except for that one time with my
Buddy.
with my
F-Buddy
with my
plus.
F buddy plus, I would say. I'm not going to specify how many pluses there are before you get to like me calling him like a significant other or anything. But
In this
The
chapter,
look
how
of
you know Hannah's
disdain on Hannah's face, too, right?
she's
now.
deep in the dating circle. Everyone, this is like orgy stories aside. You can hear it. Go ahead.
I'm not bitter. So the reason that I'm bringing this up is because that's the only time that I have brought a partner or been involved with like a primary, quote unquote, in an orgy setting. And so I have never experienced something like that. I experienced it last October in the aforementioned scene. And I thought it was hot. Like, you and him were hooking up, Vicky, and it was fucking hot. But still, it was. I would like. Yeah, I can imagine it's a different.
It is. If you're in a trusting relationship, you know,
Yeah.
the more you open your eyes, the more you realize jealousy is not what you think it is. It's not.
Jealousy can teach you a lot about yourself, is what I always say.
Yeah.
We tell people it's the biggest question. How do you not get jealous? Like, choose not to. Jealousy is ultimately a choice. You're choosing what you've defined as something that's perusing you past it. Now, you're going to have primal feelings of, oh, I've never done this before. That's okay. We have that when
Yeah.
we're flying.
And just
It's very similar. Breathe through it. Think, why am I angry? We're going home tonight. And think about how many times you've been like, God, I could really fuck someone else as like a short break. This is that.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
nothing
and
more than
also-
that. It's, you know, it's very sexy. It's just a primal sexual need.
Also, if you have your loving, trusting, communicative partner, don't take anything personally at an orgy. Like, you trust that they are following their wants and needs, and that doesn't threaten your own relationship.
Do agree on what you're doing condoms wise and protection wise, because that's
Yes.
the one. So to get on the list to be invited helps if you're open to it. As Hannah said, even if you're not bi. Now, if you're bi, it's easy. What are we doing? Like, if you want to fuck other people, you should like. Anyway, we are rounding third. We're gonna get to pre-party buzz because we've already been talking to people way too long. They don't deserve this. You know you don't. There is
I would argue they do. We're the
15
best.
to 17 people coming over, some of whom we're going to get naked and share some craziness with. Some of whom might just watch us get naked and share some craziness with. I'm definitely going to be getting naked and having some crazy. Doesn't mean we
I'm on
can't
the
leave the
fence.
people with one more
She's
fun piece of thing. What are you looking forward to the most tonight? I'll go first as we start this. One, selfishly bragging about our apartment.
Oh, that was going to be my number one, too.
Two, seeing how sexalicious people divide up the upstairs space versus the downstairs space. You can kind of never predict where an orgy is going to go.
They
so I'm just-
really like their new
but
apartment.
specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, especially, there's been a few moments where we've been just one after the other on my partner here. It would be fun to add a larger cock to that to sort of mix in. So I'm kind of looking
Wow.
forward to a little voyeuristicness.
Oh, yeah.
On that front.
Love it.
DP also, it's like a 1 through, there's my top 4. There you go.
Nice.
I'll round out number 5. I'm wearing some sexy underwear.
I saw them in the box.
He did buy them today, so. But they are sexy, so, you know.
So I am most excited for I'm excited for fucking everything. I'm just like giddy about introducing new people into the mix, and people that I know on multiple different levels in my life, but all coming together via sex is a really great thing. And yeah, I also have a little voyeur in me, and I am excited both for the bliss with everybody, but also the little voyeurism, getting to stand back, have those conversations, talk about how great that was. Both are pretty cool.
20-1 odds is what you would have to give me that Hannah won't leave her underwear here. You'd have to get to 20-1.
Or a water.
before I
Did you
take
bring
that
a
back.
water bottle?
She will be leaving them here. She's left them here. Other parties. It's like a small Christmas ornament. That lets you know.
I do this.
I'm gonna start collecting them, not in like a creepy way,
You
but
heard it
just
here.
in
I'm
a.
gonna mute you. That's the last thing Vicky gets to say on the. What are you looking for?
Well, first of all, softball friends is exactly how I explained to my parents of how I met these people.
Great.
kickball.
Checkers Club? What would you believe?
Yes, if you knew how skilled I was at sports, you would know that, I don't think they believe me.
What are you looking forward to tonight, Vicky? If you could.
I am looking forward to everyone being naked. I just like when people don't have clothes on.
It's better.
You can talk more freely. I feel like things just come out. You're just closer as people when everyone's naked.
And seeing how the process unfolds to everybody getting there is always awesome.
It's true. I'm excited to see how it starts. I'm excited to see who takes their clothes off first. I'm excited to see, who starts fucking first.
Will Hannah get her DP? Will there be a successful orgy tonight? Tune in next time for the post-orgy recap. This has been Orgy Story.
Orgy Story.
This has been Orgy Story, the invitation and the conversation. Now, we've hinted you're going to get to hear about the orgy we hosted, and you will. But this is show business. We absolutely have to tease you at least 1.5 to 2 more weeks in there. Plus, I'm still trying to get an Are You the One Season 8 celebration episode together. Coming up next week, one of my absolute passionate topics. The framework and hatred that goes into orgies well before you even have a chance to think about them. Tune in next week as we give the counterpoint a chance.
Says the social and sexual changes in the 1960s provoked the sex abuse scandal in the Catholic Church.
The consequences of sexual sin.
Why would you put this on YouTube?
obviously he fucked a demon. I mean, there is a demon in his bed.
We'll see you next week.
I'm going to slurp it loudly.